game between Bethany College and Otterbein College. The Cardinals and the Bison going to be squared away next on WOCC TV3.
It's getting out of hand here. Now he'll try it, and he hits it.
Alley-oop dunk, throw it down.
It rolls around, no good to fall. That's it's good.
That's one for the highlight reels.
Welcome back to Otterbein College. Pat Fagan, I'm Scott Willard, and we are here. Bethany College comes in with a pretty good record. They beat Pitt Bradford last week. Let's first start. What does Otterbein College have to do, senior leadership-wise, to win this game tonight?
This is a Bethany team that can really rack up the points. Like you said, 110 points 2 nights ago against Pitt Bradford. They average about 85 a game. And that's basically due to the fact they average about 10 threes a game. So Otterbein's got to watch out from behind the arc.
And who are the big guns for Bethany College, so to speak? Who do we have to watch out for?
The 3 big guys, all scoring in double figures, is Keith Schubert, Nevada Smith, and Mike Mason. We've got to watch out for all 3 of those guys. Very similar to what Capital did to Otterbein last week. So look for the very similar gameplay as last week's game.
And last time Otterbein hosted an NCAA tournament, we'll rewind to 1999. And they beat Defiance by 14 points. You expect the same kind of game?
Very similar, like I said, to Capital last week. I look for Otterbein to come out, get the ball to Gibbs more often this time. Look for what they've been doing all year and how they've been winning games.
We'll take it upstairs. Tip-off is next right here on WOCC TV3.
This is me, and my mom and dad, and my big brother Alex, and Jack. This is the day I learned that sandals got their name from sand, and that the ocean is bigger than all of us. This is the day we all got to forget I was sick. This was my wish.
Pain. Oh, is that my heart? My heart. My heart? No, it'll pass. 911. Could call 911. No, ambulance. Couldn't do that. Sirens. Neighbors rushing over. Embarrassing. Too embarrassing. Maybe I'll feel better later. Oh.
Some people would rather die than call an ambulance. So that's exactly what they do.
And welcome to the Reich Center. Scott Willard along with Pat Fagan. And NCAA, Pitt Bradford and Bethany went at it on Thursday. Now Bethany comes into the Reich Center, and with their 21-7 record, starting lineups being introduced right now. How do you say, what does Bethany need to do to go after Otterbein?
I say mimic Capital. What Capital did the games that are the last 2 times they played each other. They really contained Gibbs this week, that collapsing defense. So I think Capital knows how to beat Otterbein. They just didn't beat Otterbein, and Bethany needs to do that, obviously, if they stand a chance here. They cannot let Gibbs get the ball underneath. But look for Otterbein to try and do that, as this will be Kevin Shea, Jeff Gibbs, and Robert Mock's last game here as a Cardinal.
They will see their final, you're right, final game in the Reich Center. Gibbs 5 rebounds away from tying Don Carlos's Otterbein rebounding record. And we are just about set to tip this one off. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bracket right now. Here's how things are looking in Division III right now. If Otterbein beats Bethany, they will a good chance that they will play at Washington University, barring an upset. Unless there is an upset, they will play in St. Louis, and that's how the bracket looks.
Both Washington University, both teams, the girls and the guys, have excellent teams. They have excellent reputation. So yeah, look for that team to go really far this year. But as you can see, Otterbein plays Bethany tonight. The winner of this game will play the winner of the Lycoming and Randolph-Macon game. So a couple of teams that we're not really used to hearing, and especially in the Ohio Athletic Conference. But hopefully we'll get to know them.
Yeah, hopefully we will indeed. Starting lineups have been introduced for Otterbein. Borgese will start. The 3 seniors and Kevin Shea, Robert Mock, and Jeff Gibbs get the start as well. And Scott Hadley, 2 freshmen in Borgese and Hadley starting. Mike Mason, Scott Johnson, Nevada Smith, Derek Hoffman, and Keith Hubert get the start for Bethany. And we are about ready to get this thing. I'm excited.
I'm excited. Fans here are excited. Packed Reich House on hand to witness this.
Tip will go to Otterbein. Borgese tries to throw it up to Gibbs, but his foot was on the line. He tried to bounce it off of Derek Hoffman. Didn't work.
Well, we've seen that play happen. We've seen that play work a lot of times this season, right off the tip. Alley-oop to Gibbs. It just didn't work out there.
Gibbs' foot was on the line. Inbounds goes to Scotty Johnson. They will march down the court inside to the big man. Hoffman, no good. Mock with the rebound. Here comes the Cardinals down the court. Kevin Shea working on Johnson. And a foul called early here in the Reich Center.
Early foul. No, we're not even 30 seconds into it. We'll see who that went on.
It's on Scotty Johnson working on Kevin Shea. Now the freshman Scott Hadley inbounds to the other freshman on the floor, Borgese. Kicks to Shea, cross court to Borgese in the lane, up, no good.
Nice move by Tony Borgese on that, just didn't get the lucky bounce. And Otterbein will lose possession.
And they will give it back to Bethany indeed. Hoffman now slides it across. Back to Schubert. He's going to throw a bomb up, and he's got it for the first points of the game. We talked earlier, these guys can shoot threes.
They can shoot threes. They average about 10 per game as a team, and we saw that one. That was an NBA-style three-pointer from Schubert.
Batted away, almost stolen. Otterbein retains possession. Shea driving, baseline up, no good. The tip from Gibbs didn't go. It'll go back to Bethany.
And Otterbein's kind of sluggish after the gun here.
They have not lost a game at home, has the Otterbein Cardinals today. And Bethany just 4-4 on the road when playing non-conference schools. Bisons now will take it up top to Hoffman. Going to throw it off. 2, number 5, driving in the lane, no good. Mason's shot didn't go. Here comes Borgese and the Cardinals.
See if Otterbein can get something set up. There we go.
And they give to Robert Mock underneath. And it's a 3-2 game, 18 minutes, 11 seconds left to play. Mason now inside, the turnaround doesn't fall. Rebound Hadley. And here come the Cardinals. Kevin Shea, the senior, driving off the Mock. First lead of the game for Otterbein.
Nice ball movement on that last possession by Otterbein. Nice job by Kevin Shea to get the ball to Mock, that extra pass to find the wide open person. And you got to like that if you're Dick Reynolds and the Cardinals.
Very aware was Shea. And a foul called on Borgese, it looks like. And we'll wait till the officials. And it was on Tony Borgese, his first foul.
The fans did not like that. That's one foul for both teams early on here.
And Scott Johnson now kicking it to number 31, Nevada Smith. He lost it. And he'll stay with the Bison.
Bison out of the President's Athletic Conference, the 18 President's Athletic Conference. So it's one of the smaller conferences in Division III.
Inbounding, turnaround shot from Hoffman, no good. There's one for Gibbs. Here comes Shea. Shea is going to take the shot himself. Throws it up, no good. Gibbs rebound, up, no good. Mock with a tip.
Mock has all 6 points the Cardinals have right now, and that's something you don't see.
A question of starting him, but and he got the start anyway, and it looks like a foul is going to be called.
Looks like a foul will go on Kevin Shea. That is the call.
And I think he fouled him, but tried to get out of the foul.
Just an aggressive defense, and Kevin Shea got called for it there.
Bison will inbound. The shot from Mason, no good. Rebound Hadley. Here comes Borgese. Double team gets it to Gibbs, now to Mock. Now going to kick it out to Shea, kind of reset things. 20 on the shot clock.
Well, Mock had position on that. He just was thinking shot before catching the pass, and lucky to get that ball back.
Pass into Gibbs, and Gibbs being double teamed by Mason and Hoffman, and a foul call.
And we saw that work so well last week for Capital. Otterbein was lucky to get out of that game with a win last week. I mean, the first game this season that Gibbs has been held under double digits in points.
Hadley, a foul called as he went right to the rack after Borges tossed him the inbounds pass.
Third foul on the Bison already.
Hadley now going to shoot a couple. Right in front of that student section. First one is up and good for Hadley. Bethany got off to a quick 3-0 start, but the Cardinals have stormed back in this. They've got a 5-point lead, 8 unanswered.
Just watch out for the three if you're Otterbein, because this team can shoot.
Really, they don't get behind very often because they will throw those 3-point bombs up in a hurry. Rolling straight to the rack, no good. Gibbs tossed down to teammate Mock, and he's got the 2 points.
I think it was a good decision starting Mock, as he has 8 of the team's 10 points already.
3, no good from Schubert. We're going the other way. An electric environment here.
Electric indeed, and it's such a good feeling to have Otterbein host a second-round NCAA game. It's great to see this kind of support for Otterbein as well.
And Stokic will check in the game for the Bison.
That foul did go on Derek Hoffman. That's his second.
And Borges looking to Gibbs. Now to Shea. Up. No good. And the rebound goes to Schubert.
So a little strong on that last shot by Kevin Shea. And Bethany will get the ball.
And going to drive in. Kicks out. 3-pointer from McGinnis. No good. Borges with the rebound. Here comes Kevin Shea, the senior, in his last game here at the Reich Center to Gibbs. It's a 9-point lead for Otterbein, 15-33.
You can't say enough about Gibbs. What a physical presence underneath. And it's going to be sad to see him not playing here next year.
And you're wondering if they've seen anything like Gibbs in the President's Athletic Conference. The 2-pointer is good by Schubert. Now it is 12-5. Tony Borges, the point guard, freshman out of DeSales High School. Into Gibbs. Shot, he's fouled, and he's fouled by Stokic.
Back to Tony Borges. What a contribution he's been making game in and game out. He had that turnover problem about midway through the season, but he's improved so much as the season's gone on, and I bet Dick Reynolds is happy he's going to have him for another 3 years.
Yes, I agree. He has definitely matured over the season. First free throw is good, and Mo Ross will check in. And Kyle Walton checks in for Otterbein as well.
See, Robert Mock takes a seat, and he leaves to a nice ovation.
Yeah, the team shoots just about 76%, just over 76%. Walton with the rebound of the putback. And it's a double-digit lead for Otterbein at 15-5. Stolen by Walton. He'll go one-on-one. Up and good.
Stifling defense by the Cardinals. It's given him this 12-point lead. Schubert's the only guy that scored for Bethany, as we saw that deep three and then that drive a couple of minutes ago. Other than that, Bethany hasn't scored.
And a foul called underneath, and we're going to wait to see who this is on.
It looks like it's going to go on Gibbs. Kyle Walton, actually.
Walton just checking in the game.
I think Gibbs was asking for a charge on that last play. He didn't get it.
The inbounds, it will go underneath to Schubert. Schubert off the glass and in. And he's been a pretty big contributor.
The only contributor, really, for Bethany is.
17-7. The spin play where they give it to Walton. He couldn't decide what to do with it, and they'll throw it back in. The Bisons will retain possession.
Nice hustle by Bethany on that to get the ball back. And
McGinnis with the 2-point bucket. Cuts the lead now to 17-9. We have played just a little bit of time here at the Rank Center. And a traveling call on Otterbein.
So it's 2 turnovers on 2 possessions Otterbein's made now. Kevin Shea's unhappy with himself as he's not used to doing that often.
We are just about 6.5 in. Johnson to bring the ball down the court. Kicks it now. They're going underneath. They are looking for Schubert. Stolen by Kyle Walton. Ball was kicked. And they will reset the shot clock. So Otterbein, your thoughts so far? Look pretty strong.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job spreading the ball around. Leading scorers so far are Kyle Walton and Robert Mock. So definitely a nice job getting the ball around. Gibbs has 2 or 3. Check that.
And Walton and Mock are not on the floor right now, the Cardinals. They'll get it to Gibbs. Gibbs going to kick it back to Shea. Now into Susi, and it's good. Back to the 10-point lead at 19-9. Inside, number 43 is up and good. That's Todd McGinnis. And they're going to cut that lead back down to 11. Otterbein looking to maintain that double-digit lead. Into Gibbs to Phil Susi. Now to Borges. He's going to pull a 3, and it's good.
Well, we've seen it's game in and game out. Tony Borges can shoot the 3 just like as well as anybody else in the conference.
Inside, that's where they've kept it so far, and that's Schubert. Now we've seen 1 3-pointer from Bethany. And not a team that we would expect to see a lot of inside game. Just 2 6'7" guys. And a foul going to be called as Gibbs cuts to the hole.
And that's going to be 17 fouls, so we're already in the bonus here, and we're not even halfway into the first half yet.
And we thought, if you think about it, more of a physical game, you would definitely think it would go Otterbein's way, but nevertheless, it's going Otterbein's way right now, 22-13.
Bethany's got to watch out for foul trouble. They have 2 guys now with 2 fouls apiece, and that is Keith Schubert and Derek Hoffman. So that could pose a problem for him later on in the second half.
Almost definitely. Gibbs tried to thread the needle, turned over. They'll pull up a 3-pointer, no good. Rebound, that's to number 40, Mo Ross out of Sunbury, Big Walnut. Kevin Shea, the senior, cutting. Tossed it up, no good. Gibbs the board and the points. 24-13, Otterbein with the lead.
And Jeff Gibbs has already tied his mark from a week ago with 5 points, so I think he's bouncing back nicely.
I think he is as well. Still looking to go inside of McGinnis, and it's up and good. Gibbs now, we just got the word 4 boards. Next board will give him the tie. Ross cuts to the hole, and it's a 26-15 lead for Otterbein. A 3-ball up for number 40, Schubert. Didn't go. Rebound. Here comes Otterbein. Looking to add to the 11-point lead on the scoreboard right now. Ross, 3, got it! And I think if I'm Bethany, I need a timeout, and they do.
And the crowd is on their feet. Electric atmosphere. Everybody's on their feet cheering on these Cardinals. Biggest lead of the game at 14 right now. 29-15 with 10:50 left in the first half. Bethany, like you said, has got to take a timeout, talk things over right now. They're just going down the court and shooting the shooting the NBA-style three-pointers, and it's not working for him.
And if you're the head coach, Rob Clune, what are you telling your guys right now? I mean, are you just telling them to stay in it, or what's the conversation on Bethany's?
Well, the points they've scored has been pretty much from the paint. I mean, getting the ball into Todd McGinnis and Keith Schubert, and they've done a pretty good job at that, as both those guys are in double figures in scoring now. But check that. Keith Schubert has 11, but I mean they've done a nice job of getting the ball inside.
And we thought coming into this game, you said 10 3-pointers. They've shot 1 and made it. I think they've shot about 3 so far in the game.
And a couple of those shots have been, like you said, from beyond NBA range, and that's not going to win a game if you're Bethany.
29-15 after the timeout. Bethany brings the ball down the court. Driving. That's Mason. Up is the shot. Good? No, it is not good. And they will go and shoot a couple of free throws. And no, they will not. They will take it out of bounds. Just the team's 4th foul.
Foul did go on Mo Ross.
And that was his first.
Yes.
Kicks it out top of the key. It's Nevada Smith. Now crossed to Stokic. Turnaround. He's going to dribble. Shoots, and it's good.
Nice move by Stokic in that he had Susie faked out big time and had a pretty much wide open look from the key.
And now Borges going to kick it over to Susie. Susie now back to Shea. Shea now, Susie for 3, no good. And we've got a Bethany player on the floor. And I think they're going to call mock for that. McGinnis was on the floor. And they are going to get Mock for his first foul.
That's 5 team fouls now. 1 on Mock. Nobody really with the second foul yet, so Otterbein doesn't really have any foul trouble as of yet.
And Johnson to bring the basketball down the court. They give it to Mason. Mason driving. Kicks it off to 34. Stokic, and it's good.
That's what they're doing. They're working the ball inside, and so far it's paying off for them, and it's not something Otterbein's accustomed to seeing this year.
And now Mo Ross back to Mock, top of the key now to Borges. Shot clock still with 20 ticks left on it. For 3, no good. Ross wanted it, got a fresh 35, and he said it was a sideline violation on Otterbein. It didn't look like it from here, but
it sure didn't. I don't know if Borges' foot was on the line or not, but nonetheless, it's an Otterbein turnover, and Bethany will get the possession.
10-point lead with just under 9.5 to play. First half here at the Reich Center. Scott Williard, Pat Fagan. Bethany now driving, 34. Stokic, no good. The rebound goes to Ross, and a foul called underneath.
I think that's going to go on McGinnis.
And it will go on McGinnis. Looks like Starling and Hadley set to come on in for Otterbein. And now Ross will shoot a 1-and-1.
As that is the 7th foul. I thought it was before, but this is a 7th foul and puts Otterbein officially in the bonus.
Quite a few substitutions for Bethany. Again, 9 minutes, 11 seconds. Clock stopped as Ross will try a free throw. 1-and-1. First one is good.
If I'm not mistaken, Derek Hoffman and Keith Schubert are both still in the game for Bethany, and they both have 2 fouls, so I'm surprised they're playing right now.
And now Bethany will come down the court. Tony is on Tony Borges. The give is to Mason. He's going to drive, puts the shot up, it blocked. And now the shot put up by Schubert and a foul call, which will send Bethany to the line. 31-19 game, and Schubert will shoot a couple from the charity stripe.
The foul did go on Robert Mock. That is his second, team 6 now. So Bethany one foul away from the bonus himself.
And students and other folks still filtering in here to the right center. Shot was good, and it's an 11-point game. Gibbs coming back in for Mock. Again, still with those 4 boards, one more to tie.
And Scott, I think it's safe to say that he will get that tonight.
I think it's a very, very safe assumption indeed. Otterbein with the basketball after the missed free throw. 31-20. Borges in to Gibbs. Stolen by number 40, Keith Schubert. Here comes Schubert, and I do believe that, I don't know what happened, but he kind of stumbled around and a foul was called.
Looks like they're going to get Gibbs from a...
And it might have been Gibbs that maybe might have ran into him on the way down.
I saw Gibbs back up and throw his arms up in the air like he didn't mean to, but referee saw it, and that will be Gibbs' first foul, team 7. So Bethany is in the bonus now.
The 1-and-1 rattles in. And going to have a replay of the foul here. Let's watch this thing, and it looks, he does kind of trip. And I think Gibbs, him and Schubert might have tangled up as Schubert was running down the court. Both free throws good, and a foul on Ross, but Nazen is called to the foul. Ross will shoot a 1-and-1.
We're seeing a lot of fouls. Very, very sloppy game so far.
Pretty early as well.
Yes.
15 total fouls called, 8 on Bethany, 7 on Otterbein. And the first shot is good, and foul shooting, Otterbein is pretty good. We said just below 77% on foul shooting, so I don't think Bethany wants to get into a foul shooting war with Otterbein. That being said, Ross misses the foul shot, and it's 32-22.
I think you jinxed him.
Bethany now being double teamed outside. Now running inside. It's Nevada Smith, kicks it back out to Schubert. Schubert on the run. The bank is open, and it's an 8-point game.
Schubert again is able to make a move off the dribble and get the ball inside for a pretty wide open look. Otterbein's got to step in that lane and block that off.
Gibbs with the basketball, trying to dribble to 2 defenders, and a foul called. And let's check this one again down on the court. 2 defenders.
Just aggressive defense on number 33. That's Derek Hoffman. That's 3 on Derek Hoffman, so he's got to take a seat now.
First free throw for Gibbs. No good. And Stokic in for Hoffman, so they might have heard you from up here.
3 fouls in the first half. It's not what a coach wants to see.
Gibbs' next free throw, no good. Ross tried to get the rebound, and smart play by Gravy, who kind of blocks out Ross from trying to get the rebound.
That's 3 misses from the free throw line. Gibbs has already. He's 1 for 4. So
32-24. And slowly but surely, the Bison creeping back in this game. They can cut it to a half dozen. Hadley hits the floor. Now Kelly with the basketball. Inside to Stokic. Turnaround, no good. Gibbs with the rebound, and I do believe he's just tied. He has just tied Don Carlos for the rebounding record here at Otterbein. Ross, shot, no good. Hadley there to rebound with a follow-through.
Nice position by Hadley to get the offensive board and the easy putback, and that extends the Otterbein lead back up to 10 now.
Gonna kick it inside of Gravy. Gravy picked by Gibbs, and they'll give it back to Shea. Shea running the points, driving right to the bucket. Shot up, no good. Gibbs with the board. And a foul
That was a rebound for Jeff Gibbs. That's his 6th. Now he officially has the Otterbein rebounding record.
And let's watch this replay one more time. With this pull out of the air, Gibbs surpasses Don Carlos here at Otterbein, the all-time rebounding record. So congratulations to Jeff Gibbs.
And I wonder if he knows it yet.
Maybe at halftime.
Yeah, another miss from Jeff Gibbs from the free throw stripe, and he's very disgusted with himself.
And again, free point to the charity stripe. You want to come through when you have the time being stopped. No one in your face as well. Gibbs knocks the second half down, and it's 35-24.
And they call them free throws for a reason. They should be free baskets, and hasn't been that way for Otterbein so far.
No, it has not indeed. Kicking out top of the key. Stokic now back to Gravy. Gravy inside to number 40, Schubert. And a foul, probably on Hadley, but we'll check.
Otterbein foul, 54, Scott Hadley, his first, team's 8.
We're going to see that down in the lane here. Hadley
aggressive defense.
Shooting 2.
Obviously a blocking foul, and that wasn't the act of shooting, so he'll go to the line for 2.
And Schubert cuts the game to 10.
Bethany substitution 12, Scott Johnson replaces Zach Gravy.
Johnson in for Gravy for the Bison. And Schubert for his second free throw. And an over the back foul going to be called on number 34, Pete Stokic.
Second foul for Pete Stokic, if that is called, and that is. So a plethora of fouls here in the first half, Scott.
18 total fouls have been called. We still have 6 minutes and 41 seconds until halftime. But so far, this is the guy Bethany wants on the line. And Gibbs knocks down the first end of the 2.
The other end of the ball, Keith Schubert has 15 points for the Bison, so he has surpassed his season average for the night. He has season average, I believe, is 14, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right on that one. Second free throw, good. 37-25. Otterbein with the lead. A chain of defense breaking out here at the Rank Center. Now, Johnson down low to Kelly. The tip does not go in, and Jeff Gibbs, rebound number 7 on the night. To Hadley, the easy lay-in. Lack of defense there, Mr. Fagan, just lack of defense.
Definitely. Bethany just falling apart as we see an errant pass, and it's another turnover. Otterbein has a chance to push us to the biggest lead of the night. Right now it's at 14. This possession it could be a 16 or 17. So Bethany just unraveling.
Let's see the replay of this right here. Up in the free bucket.
Otterbein had transition, and they're so well when they do that this season.
Gibbs down low, kicks it out. 3 ball, Hadley, no good. Shea tried to get to the rebound, but did not work. Now to Mason. It's number 34, Stokic. Up, and it's good. No foul called on that one. A couple of bodies hit the floor there, and Hadley was one of them.
No foul, but nice turnaround jumper for Stokic. I would have been too dizzy to shoot the ball.
Stokic knocks it home. It's 39-27. Shea, 3 ball, got it. 42-27, the bomb unleashed from Shea.
Kevin Shea's first points of the game.
Driving to the bucket, Schubert no good. Gibbs chalks up another rebound. To Gibbs, the bump, no foul called. 44-27. The biggest lead of the game at 17 for Otterbein. Johnson now gives it to Mason, and he drains it.
Mike Mason's first bucket of the game as well. So we see Kevin Shea and Mike Mason get on the board for the first time for each team.
44-29. Inside to Gibbs. Gibbs off the glass, and that's why he's dangerous. Get the ball to him, and he'll eat up the inside.
This makes it look so easy. He just backs up the defender.
And a foul called on Bethany going the other way after the shot from Mason didn't fall.
Foul's going to go on Pete Stokic. That's his third, so see him take a seat probably. Just a dumb over-the-back foul. Gibbs obviously had possession, and Stokic got a piece of Gibbs and fighting for the rebound. It's his third foul.
And that is a big, big foul. Again, two people with 3 fouls for Bethany.
And another miss from Jeff Gibbs from the line.
Susie and Ross back in for Otterbein. Bethany has a couple of substitutions as well. Gibbs extends this game to an 18-point lead with that free throw. Just under 4.5 to play, Reich Center, and they got Borges with a touch foul on that one.
Questionable call on that. I didn't really see much contact, much more than usual, but result in a second foul for Tony Borges.
Scott Johnson shooting.
So Johnson going to shoot a 1-and-1 on after the foul from Borges. Just one more foul away, and we'll both be in the double bonus.
The first half, that's not something you see every day.
First free throw is good from Scott Johnson. Cuts the lead down to 17. Mindset. What's the magic number if you're Bethany to get the game down to before halftime?
I would say single digits again. It's just Otterbein's doing basically whatever they want on offense right now, and they've got to step it up on defense. Bethany, that is.
And Shea gonna run to Gibbs, and he got the flush on the rebound.
It hit about every part of the basket and finally got the bounce to go in, and that woke up the crowd.
The steal from Gibbs. Borges now to Shea. Shea going to one-on-one to baseline. Kicks it out, Borges. He's going to run. Picked his pocket, did number 31, Nevada Smith. Smith on the other end for 3. No good. And a fight for the rebound. This foul will probably go on Phil Susie. And it will go on Susie.
And see a replay of the alley-oop that.
Let's watch this thing again, man.
Shooting 2.
Gibbs gets up there, bounces off the front end of the rim, and rolls in. That's how you know things are going well for you, when the bounce goes in off of an alley-oop. First free throw is good by Keith Schubert.
Gives him 16 on the night. This will be 17 if it goes in.
And chalk him up for 17. Inbound to Ross. Ross being double teamed. Give it to Shea. And we'll bring the ball down the court. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. To Susie. This one stolen by Schubert. He's been a one-man wrecking crew for Bethany.
Almost a travel there on Schubert.
Johnson, the 3 ball doesn't go, and a foul down low. As both Gibbs hit the floor as well as McGinnis.
And that's Keith Schubert with 3 now. So 3 Bethany players, each with 3 fouls. And most of all the fouls have been over the backs on Jeff Gibbs fighting for the rebound. And another one right there.
Yep, and called on 43, and then he just fouled out, and Schubert was on the back end of him.
The fouls keep on coming for both teams.
Shooting 2.
And Gibbs will go to the line. Try and take his team into 50 points here.
So halfway to the century mark. Otterbein has done that once this year against Baldwin Wallace way back in December.
And Bethany has been past the century mark. Let's see. Looks like 5 different times, if you count the Pitt Bradford game, which they scored 110 points.
Just
The threes have not happened, though, for Bethany, as Hadley knocks it in.
That's 8 points for Scott Hadley, and that's his second one, I believe, off of an offensive rebound, off of a free throw that he's gotten.
And they're going to go on the opposite way again. Looks like maybe a moving pick. And 2 for McGinnis now. So I'm telling you, Mr. Fagan, are we going to have anybody left?
Looks like we're going to have a different starting 5 here in the second half, if you ask me, because we're on pace to have 3 guys for Bethany foul out.
Shea to attempt these free throws. First one is good. It's now a 20-point Otterbein lead. And did you expect a 20-point lead for Otterbein early on?
No, I didn't. When I saw that Bethany got 110 points against Pitt Bradford the other night, I was scared. I was really scared. And when I saw the record as well, but just did not expect this.
21 points, a lead for Otterbein. And Bethany staring that straight in the face, looking for halftime, but the runner is good by McGinnis. 54-35 Otterbein. Gibbs now with a basketball, surveying the lane. Now gives it to Ross, back to Shea. The senior connection over to Walton. Squared up for 3, no good. Gibbs with the board and a foul called on Jeff Gibbs.
It's like a push off on Jeff Gibbs, and that is the call, and that will give Jeff Gibbs 2 and send Bethany to the free throw stripe.
And I do believe if I'm playing coach right now, I'm going to send in someone for Gibbs. Let's see this replay right here. Up, Gibbs
just
grabs the rebound.
A little too aggressive, fighting for position, and referees saw that as a foul, and that's his second.
Missed free throw from McGinnis. Lead stays at 19 for Otterbein. Free throw good this time, and it's 54-36. Ball stripped away, and it was stripped away from Walton. It's going to go to Bethany. Not sure about that call.
Not sure about that at all. As you said, Jeff Gibbs does take a seat, and Susie will check in his place.
Let's have another look at this one.
Must have went off of his foot. That's the only thing I could.
And I think maybe he swatted at it and got a hand on it. Charging foul on number 40, Keith Schubert. That's number 4.
Wow.
And you've got a lot of angry parents right behind that Bethany bench.
Nice job by Hadley to get position and get his feet planted and draw the charge on that. It's one thing coaches love to see.
54-36. This one I thought was off of Starling's foot, but nevertheless goes back to Otterbein.
Looked like Starling was trying to call a timeout, but
they do inbound it to Starling. They are going to have the press on. They break it. Shea with the basketball. And we are staring at under 2 minutes here at the Reich Center. 54-36 lead for Otterbein. Ross, and no bucket, and a foul called on Otterbein. And this has been a festival of personal fouls, shall we call it.
yeah, it's a game of fouls. Both teams have beyond 10 now. That's a plethora of fouls for both teams.
And Nevada Smith will be at the line to attempt 2 free throws. First one is good. Bethany College comes to us from Bethany, West Virginia. Just about 800 enrolled in school. Shea down the court. This one batted away from Mason, but nevertheless, Otterbein will retain possession. And let's look at the Mason block again.
Just a huge block. Kevin Shea didn't see him coming, and was about 3 feet above him. That's why.
And they got up there, didn't he?
Certainly did.
Ross to inbound. And they will inbound to Susie, who then throws it over to the senior Kevin Shea. Shea down to Hadley with a cutting of number 12. That's Starling, and it's good.
Nice move by Joey Starling. We've seen him get more and more play time as the season's gone on, too.
Johnson circling the baseline, kicks it out. Mason shot no good. Hadley rebound. Here comes the Cardinals.
Try to extend on that 18-point lead.
Starling, top of the key, going to kick it back to Kevin Shea. Ross will take it now to Hadley. Now down to Ross. Shea in the paint. Takes a shot and good. A 20-point lead. $1:03 to play. First half here from the Reich Center at Otterbein College. Going to kick it out to Johnson. Johnson inside. Stokic got it to roll. And now about an 8-second difference, probably about a 6-second differential from shot clock to game clock. Kevin Shea gives it to Susie. Susie takes a shot. No good. Rebound Ross. Shot clock is off. Otterbein will have the final 23 seconds. Starling now to Kevin Shea. Going to play for one shot. The lead is 18, 58-40. Ross back to Hadley, now to Starling. Starling with 7 seconds, with 6 seconds. Ross with a shot with 5 and knocks it down. And time will expire on Bethany, and the heave towards the Otterbein bench, and Bethany not looking too happy.
Not looking too happy. That's an understatement, if you will. Just everything going Otterbein's way in the first half. I don't really know what Bethany could do in the second half. I mean, they just got to step it up on defense, but Otterbein's just doing whatever they want to with it right now.
We will take a break for halftime. Otterbein a 20-point lead. We'll see you on the flip side of halftime.
I know why you work late every night. It must be so boring to you. Do you even love me anymore? I wonder about that. In fact, I wonder about it all the time.
People often imagine the worst when you don't tell them you really care. Talk to the ones you love.
It's the most magnificent sight in the universe. This planet full of life and wonder. This planet we call home. As an Earth Team volunteer, you can help the Natural Resources Conservation Service care for it. Right in your own community. Call 1-888-LAND-CARE to find out how. Because there's just no place like home.
Put off dealing with diabetes, and you might not have a leg to stand on. You might not have to face it. Eventually, you might not have to bother. Diabetes doesn't have to take apart your life. Not if you eat healthy, exercise, and take your medicine to control your blood sugar.
I'm controlling my diabetes. It's making a huge difference.
Control your diabetes for life. Call 1-800-860-8747.
Wildfire. Over 2 million acres of our forests and rangelands burn each year. Hundreds of homes are destroyed, and it can take over 150,000 firefighters and $1 billion to bring the fires under control. Many of these fires are due to human carelessness, but it only takes one person to prevent it all. Be careful when visiting the wildlands. For more information, contact your local fire protection agency, state forestry office, or the USDA Forest Service.
And we are back here at Otterbein's Reich Center, the campus of Otterbein College. Scott Williard, Pat Fagan, a 20-point halftime lead for Otterbein, and very surprising.
Very surprising, yeah. Especially after the 2-point win over Capital last week, I thought every game from here on out was going to be a close, hard-fought game like that. And yeah, just a surprise.
Let's talk about the numbers for Otterbein quickly. Any surprises that we have for Otterbein?
Not really. Jeff Gibbs was 16. Mo Ross has 10, so he's in double figures in the first half. Robert Mock has 8. That's kind of a surprise. He got off to a real fast start. Scott Hadley with 6, and Tony Borges with 3. Kevin Shea with 7 as well. So basically what we're used to seeing if you're Otterbein. Gibbs has a rebounding record. He has 9 total, so every rebound from here on out will be a new record for Jeff Gibbs.
And terrible three-point shooting on the fact for Bethany. They're going to try for a 3 to open the half up. Doesn't go. Otterbein will go the other way.
That makes her 1 for 8 for the game. So definitely not used to winning from anything else on a three-pointer.
Gibbs back up and in, and that's point number 18 for Jeff Gibbs. He's just one shy from a double-double. He has made a double-double in every single game except that Capital game. And now Bethany with a basketball. Going to dribble in. This one tipped around. Gibbs steals it. The behind the back to Mock. Up and one. Hoop and harm.
Nice job by Jeff Gibbs to find Mock, cutting down the opposite side of the court. And
that's too pretty. We got to watch this one again. Mock.
Yes. Nice concentration by Mock, getting the ball to drop through and drawing the foul, and chance at a three-point play to start things out.
And they missed the three-point play, but a rebound by Gibbs gives it up to Borges. And a 24-point lead for Otterbein. Foul inside. And guess we're going to have the same type of half. Already 2 fouls. We have not played a minute yet.
That gives Derek Hoffman and Keith Schubert each with 4 fouls, and we're barely into the second half here, Scott.
19 minutes and 4 seconds still to play. And already Bethany has 2 personal fouls on the scoreboard.
I don't think we talked about it, but leading the way for Bethany at halftime was, of course, Keith Schubert with 17. But 4 fouls, that's going to pose a problem for him.
Oh, most definitely. And now Otterbein will inbound. Tony Borges now kicks it to Kevin Shea. Shea back to Mock, top of the key, now back to Borges. Under 20 on the shot clock. Over to Hadley. He's going to shoot the three-point. No good. And a rebound to Pete Stokic. And here comes the Bison. Down the court, driving. Nevada Smith, no good. Here comes Otterbein, Kevin Shea. He's going to throw it up for Gibbs, who tips it back to Mock. Very athletic play there, and Tony Borges will reset.
Looks like Gibbs didn't have position to shoot the ball, so he just tipped it to Mock. And
he has position this time. The kiss off the glass.
20 points for Gibbs.
And Gibbs, just amazing. He's been amazing all season long. Driving from the baseline. The shot by Schubert is good. You got to remember, Schubert, he's got those 4 personal fouls.
Looks like Ron Clune, that he's got to play at least one of them.
Basketball back to Jeff Gibbs, and cleans up again, 68-42. And now Bethany trying to decide what they want to do. Schubert now inside to Stokic. Shot no good. Rebound Mock. Here comes Kevin Shea. Toss it up to Gibbs. Did not have possession. Foot on the line. And a turnover.
Kevin Shea and Jeff Gibbs are determined to get that play to work tonight. We've seen that happen, or attempted 3 times now. And well, it did work that one time. I forgot the one that Gibbs got the lucky bounce, but every other time it's been a little too hard of a pass, or Gibbs didn't have position.
Was still a lucky bounce. You know, he
Yes.
hasn't flushed it home yet. And now Nevada Smith, the shot, and he was fouled. And
That will not be a shooting foul, so Bethany will inbound the ball under their basket.
And it was not, you're right, not a shooting foul.
Kevin Shea got faked out there.
This will be a shooting foul. Schubert hoop and harm off the inbounds pass. And a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. And Schubert will shoot one. Do believe that's point number 21 for Schubert.
A little too strong, and Otterbein will retain possession.
Kevin Shea going to march down the court. A commanding 68-44 lead. Second half, Tony Borges driving. Kicks it out, Hadley, 3-ball, no good. Rebound, Hadley. He's going to try to thread it into Gibbs. Too many black shirts there, and here comes Bethany. The toss down to Schubert, and he traveled. Just one too many steps for Keith Schubert, and let's see the travel again. 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Good call.
One too many steps. And Borges being double teamed, turns the ball over again, and they're going to throw it cross court. Driving baseline, it's Nevada Smith. He's going to cut back. Now into Schubert, and one.
Second possession for Bethany in a row that Schubert's gotten the ball underneath and a foul.
And number 42, Robert Mock, that's his third personal foul.
Mock just discussing with himself, not a smart foul. This is a closer game, that would have been devastating, but
and
thankfully for Otterbein it's not, and Dick Reynolds is having some words down there.
They decided to take just a 30-second timeout.
You can't let Bethany, I know it's a 22-point lead right now, but you got to keep it right here. I mean, you can't let Bethany get any kind of a run going, because they've proven they could do it. And, for the three-point baskets have been deadly for their opponents all year, just not tonight, as they've only hit one. And that was early on in the game.
Still plenty of time. Still a whole second half of basketball to play. And you're right, 16 minutes, 29 seconds. On these three-point plays, they get you back to the game real quick. Schubert, one shot, no good. Mock with a rebound, dumps it off to Shea, and the Cardinals try and reset this offense. Borges to Shea, inside, trying to thread it to Gibbs. Knocked back out smartly by Gibbs. Now 18 on the shot clock. Borges now to Shea. Back to Borges. Going to drive now to Hadley. Being double teamed on the baseline. And he traveled.
Hadley wanted the foul, but he didn't get it. It was a nice double team by Bethany. And another turnover for Otterbein. So we're seeing some pretty good defense as of late here from Bethany. See a replay of that foul. Just a nice trap by number 40, number 34. Hadley just moves his pivot foot and travels and turns the ball over.
Otterbein had 10 turnovers in that first half of play. And now driving, number 5, Mike Mason. And knocks this game out to 20. It's 68-48. Where we were at halftime. The old cut, Gibbs, and one.
Nice ball movement from Otterbein in there. 3 or 4 passes before the shot, and Jeff Gibbs just does that time in and time again.
Into Gibbs, and the touch with the hand in his face.
This makes it look so easy underneath.
All-American and Jeff Gibbs. Free throw is good, and it is 71-48. And Bethany running with it. Mason going to kick it over. Schubert, 3-ball. And this rank center crowd going to let him know about it. Here comes number 24. The shot no good. Out of bounds, going to stay with Otterbein. Shea shot no good, but able to knock it off of a Bethany basketball player. McGinnis going to check in for Bethany. Let's have another look at this one.
Kevin Shea didn't release it when he quite wanted to. It would have been blocked if he did, but Otterbein gets a lucky bounce and retains possession here.
Gibbs, as you said it before,
what can you say?
Makes it look so easy with a touch, and it's 73-48. Nevada Smith with the basketball. Driving, stolen it by Ross. And he kicked it off of a guy's shin, but able to rebound. 2 shots have not fallen. Number 34 going to try it again, and Gibbs says, "Get out of my house." And a technical right in the face of Stokic. He had a few words for the officiating corps, and the officials weren't buying it. Frustration on the account of Bethany, and he had a few choice phrases, and they will tee him up in a heartbeat.
And what a block by Jeff Gibbs. Just a frustration foul, and just a technical foul. Just not a very smart thing to do at all. I don't care if you're down by 30 points. I mean, it's something you never do.
And on the other end, Kevin Shea will shoot him, and he had missed 2 free throws, or 2 bunny shots, excuse me, and he was just very unhappy. Kevin Shea knocks the first one down, and after the ball went out of bounds to Otterbein, few words for the officiating corps.
So 2 technical fouls in as many games for Otterbein opponents. This one doesn't mean quite as much as last week's did, but nonetheless, still a costly foul regardless of the score.
And it was off Otterbein, so a senseless technical for Bethany. And McGinnis will inbound it, and they will inbound it to Stokic. Now they get it to Johnson. Now back to number 31, Nevada Smith. The shot, good. And it is a 25-point game after the shot. Gibbs to Borges. Here come the Cardinals. Shea, and they'll run this time off. Now playing the time game, trying to milk as much off as they can.
Scott, do you think any Capital fans are watching this game and thinking, why aren't they in the game? Or why aren't they in the tournament?
That's a very good question, and I do believe that Capital was one of those teams that should have been in that tournament.
3 games between Capital and Otterbein. Otterbein wins them all 3, but by a combined total of 8 points. And look at the score right now. This is just 1 game.
Only 2 other losses to Mount Union and to Northern, who Otterbein was actually beat by as well.
Yes, so it's just I think Capital has something to complain about there.
OAC tournament just so tough and off the foot, and it'll stay with Bethany. But I agree 100% with you. Capital should have been in this NCAA tournament, but could not get the at-large bid with 5 losses.
Nonetheless, I think they will probably be in it next year as nobody graduates from their team. So,
absolutely. Capital is going to be a tough team. And going up into the stands, Todd McGinnis into the Otterbein pep band. And Otterbein will have the basketball. Gibbs, 27 points, 12 boards, 77-50. And this is the opening game for the Otterbein Cardinals. Only 3 losses all year.
Undefeated at home. Reich Center, just such a tough place to play if you're another team.
Driving, Mo Ross, no good. Try to get the rebound, and he did. Johnson's feet were not on the line. Bethany with the basketball. Nevada Smith now inside to Schubert. Fans are going to let him know about this one. He missed it all again. Rebound, though, to McGinnis, and he puts it back up and in. And Borges with the basketball and coming down the court. And I think they did not call the first foul they fouled on Tony Borges, did Bethany. So when they fouled him again, you've got to call it.
Yeah, it looks like that foul did go on Scott Johnson, his second. Just things are not going Bethany's way whatsoever here.
25-point lead for Otterbein. And they've all but punched their ticket to what we think, we can only project, is going to be St. Louis. We will know by tomorrow where Otterbein is heading if they can finish this one out. Ross now to Shea, now to Tony Borges. Down to Susi. 16 on the clock for Tony Borges. Now over to Susi. They've got 10 on the clock. Kevin Shea under 10. 8 on the shot clock. He's going to take a 3-ball. Up. No good. Rebound, Todd McGinnis, and here comes the Bison. Kicks it over to number 40, Keith Schubert. Back to Johnson.
Every time Schubert touches it, fans are letting him know that he had a shot that missed everything a couple possessions ago.
Mason with the bucket, and it's 77-54. And as long as the students are off the court, they are just standing right back down there, right behind the Bethany bucket. Tony Borges will control. Under 12 minutes to play in this game. Borges now to Ross. Ross takes the shot. No good. Hadley there to rebound, and he traveled.
See a replay of that traveling call. See Hadley just too many steps. And it's like he may have wanted the foul on that, but didn't get it.
Didn't call. Otterbein a 30-second timeout, and like you said, they've all but punched their ticket possibly to St. Louis, and that's, again, projected of where they're going to be going. At 77-54, 11 minutes, 42 seconds to play.
Interesting stat that was just passed to us. Otterbein is out-rebounding Bethany 42-18, and not all of that's Jeff Gibbs, as he's on the bench right now. So Otterbein doing a fantastic job at crashing the boards tonight.
And just two big men, two guys 6'7", and they have not rebounded well. They have not shot the ball well at all, and from three-point range especially. They only had one three-pointer go in the first half. Bethany with the basketball, cutting inside, traveled with it. They try to feed it to Mason. And let's watch that one more time to see if he did, in fact, travel.
See, he was thinking shot before he controlled the ball, and just frustration play.
And Otterbein has the basketball and almost lost it earlier. Mo Ross now down to Phil Susi, who takes the easy bucket. The paint was unattended, and Susi went to the hole.
Phil Susi has 4 points now, so he's had a pretty decent game.
And again, letting him know about every time, and he's had an air ball, and they'll throw it to Hoffman. Hoffman now back to Mason, and Mason knocks it down. Nice hustle by Tony Borges. What was you going to say?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Nice hustle, even though they didn't get the ball, by Tony Borges.
And I think being up helps. You know, you just don't feel that everything's coming down on you. The lob from number 32, Susi, to Hadley. Hoop and harm. Let's watch this one more time.
What a lob by Susi to find Hadley wide open underneath. And nice concentration by Scott Hadley, and a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
We saw Shea to Gibbs. Maybe this is the new breed.
Maybe starting up.
The shot from Hadley, no good. Rebound to Hoffman. And now Johnson going to bring it down. Scotty's going to take a three. Got it. And they're going to need those 3 balls to get back in it.
Lots of them. As that is their only their second 3-ball of the game.
And now Mo Ross kicks it to Hadley. Borges was knocked down, and now he's going to get the ball to Borges. Shot clock at 18. Borges driving. Got it to fall.
And we've seen Tony Borges do that more as the season's gone on.
The rush pass down to McGinnis. He gets the quick 2. And now the press, and now McGinnis going to take a 3, and he's got it. 83-64, the lead under 20 at 19. The press is kind of scaring Otterbein. Looks down and mental mistakes, but Kevin Shea able to knock the point down, but changing directions more than a scared politician.
Yes. Bethany just hustling more than Otterbein in the last couple of plays.
And Schubert, the turnaround bucket, gets it to fall and foul. And it's 85-66, a chance to cut it to an 18-point game. Let's have a look just one more time.
Not a smart foul. Schubert had position, and if you're going to foul, get a piece of the ball and not let the ball go in, but not what Hadley had in mind.
We've had quite a few this half 3-point plays on the fact for Bethany, just a few for Otterbein. He's going to have to contend with the air ball chant as he's shooting. And he knocks it through.
So Schubert adds 1 more to his total. It gives...
He's got quite a few.
He's got quite a few. I'm trying to count here.
He's got quite a few of them.
I think that gives him 26.
Inside to Gibbs. Up and good. And the 2 seniors back on the floor in Gibbs and Mock. Shea on the bench right now for the Cardinals. A 3-ball. Drains it from McGinnis. And Bethany making a little run. It's a 17-point game, 8 minutes, 45 seconds. Whew, man, I tell you, I thought, maybe the lid was closing, but all of a sudden with those 3 balls, Bethany is just back in it. And what we're going to do is, there's Gibbs again.
Gibbs just doing whatever he wants to on the floor.
We had that earlier stat of 42-18 rebounding, and it's not gone very well for Bethany.
No, it hasn't. But they have shot the ball a little bit better this half. We were talking 2 minutes ago. They only had 1 3-pointer. Now they have 4. So
87-70, 8 minutes 45 seconds. Still plenty of time for Bethany to get back in this one.
And Otterbein knows that, and I think that's why Jeff Gibbs is in the ballgame right now.
Mental mistake for Starling. He tried to hit up Susie. And Dick Reynolds just shaking his head. And now Bethany will inbound underneath their own bucket. The Bison try to make a run at it. Otterbein's play has been sloppy right now. They get it to number 40. Shot no good. Schubert was fouled, though. And the foul is on number 32. That is Phil Susie. It's his second.
See a replay of that Susie foul.
And
this gets a little piece of his hand, if that. Not a very good call. And that was Susie's third. Yeah, PA announcer at Otterbein had that wrong, so Phil Susie has 3.
And it's been a touch foul game, though.
Yes, it has.
The officials have been on top of it with the fact that they have stuck to their game from start to finish.
Well, for Bethany, Keith Schubert and Derek Hoffman, they both have, Derek Hoffman, they both have 4 personal fouls right now, and it's been that way for a while now. So they've done a nice job of not picking up that 5th and final foul.
Gibbs lost it, but Mock was able to get the rebound. And now Mo Ross will come down with it, and he just collides with Mike Mason. And he's going to have himself a foul, and they are going to have their 7th personal, and Ross going to go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. It's a 16-point game, 87-71. Let's have a look at that one more time.
It's amazing, just going for the ball, too aggressive. Ross does a nice job turning his body, so not exposing the ball and picking up the foul, or drawing the foul.
16-point game. Bethany back in this one. This shot no good from Mason. And now Otterbein going to go back the other way and try and take it. They wanted to try and put it back to a 20-point game. Inside to Gibbs. The turnaround doesn't fall. Out of bounds. It's going to stay with Otterbein.
It's like Gibbs made the call for the referees there.
Always willing to help out is Jeff Gibbs.
Yes.
Inbounds to Borges. 3, no good. And McGinnis quickly snatches the rebound. He's going to bring the ball down the court. He's driving to the hole. The shot no good. Mock with a rebound. And now he's going to hear the air ball chant. Kevin Shea now passes it off to Tony Borges. Under 8 minutes to play. 87-71 Otterbein. Kicks it out. Top of the key to Mock. Down low to Gibbs, who misses the dunk.
You don't see that often.
No, you don't. Johnson now dishes the ball underneath to Schubert. And 87-73.
Is it me or Otterbein's kind of lost their hustle, it seems like here. They're just...
I think you're right.
Bethany's got Otterbein on their heels sort of right now, and they're taking advantage of it.
14-point game. And a foul called. And Borges going to shoot a 1-and-1. But you're right. 87-73. Tony Borges try and take this one to a 16-point game. First one's good.
Foul did go on Todd McGinnis. That is his 4th now. So him, Hoffman, and Schubert all have 4 fouls.
It'll be amazing if we don't see anyone foul on this
exactly, game. Exactly, as Schubert and Hoffman both had 4 fouls after break. So
16-point advantage, 89-73. And Bethany trying to get back in this one. Hoffman now. Top of the key. Ross picked his pocket. It's Ross and Mason. Ross with a bucket. They are 9 points away from the century mark.
13 points now for Mo Ross. He's played a heck of a game tonight.
He has been the stand-in guy for Otterbein. Thought about the 3, thought better of it. We'll take the 2, and the jumper from Johnson is good. A full timeout for Bethany called here with 6 minutes, 34 seconds. And I tell you, Bethany is still in this game.
They are not going away. Many teams will pack it up when you're down by 26 points. I believe that's what the score has been at one time.
I do believe you're correct. The largest lead was 26.
But, yeah, many teams will pack it up and call it a ball game, but not Bethany. It's down to 16. And I bet Dick Reynolds is just as happy it's a timeout right now as the Bethany coach, Rob Clune, is.
I agree. And the PAC record, 7-1, a 20-7 record. And this Bethany game is not too bad. They have not played to their potential tonight, we've seen, but 3 points been off.
Yes, it'd be a much different game, much different story right now if Bethany is able to capitalize on more of their 3-point attempts, and if they didn't have so many fouls. They had to play, a lot of those guys had to play very cautiously and not as aggressive a defense as maybe they had wanted to because of the fouls.
And you never want to corner a wounded dog, and Bethany's a wounded dog right now, and they're going to try anything they can to get back in it. It includes a full-court press. It's broken. Now they get it back to Tony Borges. Borges to Ross. Now to Mock, top of the key. Over left side and a foul called. It's either going to be on a Hoffman or McGinnis.
And that is Hoffman. That's his 5th. He is out of the game.
And he just shakes his head as he walks to the bench.
Just again, aggressive defense. It's one of the only ways you can guard against Jeff Gibbs is foul, sort of the hack-a-shack theory, if you will.
Maybe a little push in the back, but, it's like I said, it's been a touch foul game all game long, and you can't abandon that, and they have it. Gibbs now to shoot 1-and-1, no good. Rebound. Goes to Johnson, brings the ball down the court. 3 ball from Schubert, he knocks it down.
There's a 3-point again.
13-point game stolen off the inbounds. Schubert, he's going to shoot another one up. Rattles in. 10-point game. Are you serious? 26-point lead for Otterbein, down to 10.
Otterbein is just being very sloppy with the ball right now. They're not taking care of it, throwing errant passes, and this is a ball game again.
They lost Schubert, and I think it might have just fired up the Bethany Bison.
I think it did too, and the McGinnis foul out, or not, check that, the Hoffman foul out has just ignited this team, I think, has 6 unanswered points right now.
5 minutes, 55 seconds, and I bet you Dick Reynolds is giving his team an earful right now.
I bet so. They're just, looks like Otterbein packed up and called it a ball game,
and that's one thing big leads will do to you. You get ahead, and there's nothing that you can do, and Otterbein could do no wrong in the first half, but very sloppy half from Otterbein, and it's back to a 10-point game.
And look who's in the game right now, the starting 5 for Otterbein. So
tipped around, stolen by Bethany. They can cut it to under 10. Folks, we got a game at the Rank Center. Stokic now out to Johnson. Johnson now on a driving Todd McGinnis. Kicks it back to Schubert. 3 in a row.
Wow. It's
91-84.
Otterbein does not know what to do right now.
They've got to shift out of neutral and into drive. Into Gibbs. Ross, the slam!
That's one way to get momentum back on your side.
And I do believe the crowd has just been plugged back into this game. 3 ball for Schubert, and he knocks it down again. He's on fire. 4 in a row for Schubert. And a foul on Stokic. Is he gone?
I believe that's his. No, that is his 5th. He is gone. You are right.
And let's watch this Ross stuff again.
Gibbs was triple teamed. He knows 2 guys are wide open if that happens, and Gibbs did a nice job of finding Ross for the easy 2 points.
And let's check how many fouls Stokic has. Excuse me, Schubert. Let's check Stubert's.
Schubert has 4, so 1 more and he is out, and I would think Otterbein will be going for that, trying to make him pick up his 5th foul. As 5 3-pointers now, 4 in a row for him. He is just on fire right now.
What was once a 26-point game has been dwindled down to a 2-possession game.
Sort of if notice we say if now, Otterbein comes out on top in this game. It's sort of a moral victory that Bethany is able to come back like this. I mean, just so resilient.
Never say die attitude. They've had 2 lost to fouls. Stokic is gone, and McGinnis is gone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Excuse me, Stokic and Hoffman, I'm sorry. Stokic and Hoffman are gone due to fouls. McGinnis has 4.
And these free throws are big free throws for Tony Borges right now. And who thought at halftime we'd be saying that?
Not after a 20-point halftime lead, and it amounted to a 26-point lead. 95-87. An 8-point lead for Otterbein.
Otterbein has not. Yes, they did. They trailed 3-0 at the get-go, but haven't trailed since then.
And Bethany shooting towards the open end of the rank center. Driving, Mason blocked by Gibbs, and they're going to call it a goaltend.
Ball looked like it was on its way down or very close to it. And referee saw something that.
Let's watch her one more time.
The ball is on its way down. It is a goaltending, and can't really see the ball, and that as the backboard gets in the way, but still. Nice height by Jeff Gibbs.
Back to a half-dozen lead. 4 minutes, 33 seconds from the right center. Shea now into the senior Jeff Gibbs, who's double-teamed. They get it to Crash Walton in an intentional foul. And I do believe that was an intentional foul. When you pick someone up and slam them home like that, and it looks like Walton may be hurt.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Let's hope he gets up, and it looks like what he's doing, but still.
And that's the 5th foul
on Mason.
Mason is gone.
So Mason, who had 3 fouls at halftime. Yeah, just an intentional foul as he grabbed him on the chest. The ball was clearly above his head. Didn't go for the ball. And wow, we're glad to see Walton get up okay.
Walton up all right, and now they're going to send Graby in for Mason. So Mason is gone. Stokic is gone. Hoffman is gone. And Bethany is still in this game.
McGinnis and Schubert both have 4 fouls. So one more on each of those, and they are gone. And for Otterbein's sake, I would hope Schubert picks up that 5th foul pretty soon here.
95-89, big free throws for Kyle Walton.
Gives him 5 points on the night, if I am correct.
And we've called him Crash Walton before because he goes after basketballs and hustles to. He gives Coach Reynolds 110%, like most of his team does.
Will give up his body for a possession of the ball anytime, and you got to love that if you're a basketball coach.
Walton will inbound it. 97-89, an 8-point game. Otterbein can take it back to double-digit lead. Into Gibbs, off the glass for Gibbs, and it's a 99-89 lead. Stolen by Walton, and he's fouled by Johnson. What a game.
Wow, yeah.
Johnson's third.
One of few Bisons that can pick up another foul.
And Otterbein has reached the 100 mark once this year. And that was the game against Baldwin Wallace where they had 108 and they have not lost. Walton knocks it home. And 100 points for Otterbein. Walton again.
Money from the free throw stripe.
Indeed. And here comes Bethany out of the PAC. Nevada Smith, shot no good. Rebound Borges. Gives it to Shea. Now back to Borges. He will take the ball down the court. Borges, Nevada Smith on Borges. Kicks it to Shea. Shea into Gibbs. Backing down. No foul called. McGinnis wanted a foul. He hit the deck. And it's a 103-89 lead for Otterbein. Here comes Todd McGinnis. Kicks it out to Graby. Graby on Smith, and a bump foul on Gibbs. And is there another technical foul?
Well, he threw the ball into the crowd after the foul was called, and see what the call is here.
A lot of, let's look at this Gibbs here while we figure this one out.
Sorry. Gibbs just handed the ball to the Bethany player that was on the deck on that last play.
And a 103-89 game. You got a lot of attitudes flaring right now, and the officiating crew going to have a little meeting to talk things over. A technical foul on the Bethany bench. And you have Bethany fans standing up and clapping about it.
Don't really understand that.
A 2-shot technical foul for Kevin Shea.
Temper's flaring here.
It was a foul on Otterbein. And why we have a technical foul called against Bethany. He knocks both free throws down, and a 16-point game. And I don't know, Pat Fagan, if Bethany can
put another run.
Can weather this.
Yes, I mean they've did such a great job. I mean, the down 26, cut it to single digits, 6 rather, and now they're letting Otterbein. It's just getting sloppy. Temper's flaring on Bethany's side, and it's proven costly for him.
They found out 3 players.
Yes. Fouls, the story of the game.
And they'll shoot a 1-and-1 on the other end because it was a foul on Otterbein.
That was the foul on Kyle Walton.
His second. And shot was good by number 31, Nevada Smith. He knocks both of them down. Mo Ross gets the ball to Tony Borghese. He's been double-teamed. Jump ball called.
Otterbein has the possession.
And very near capacity crowd on hand for Otterbein. Got 3 rows deep of students right down there underneath the bucket.
And we know last week it was pretty much a sellout, but it was against crosstown rival Capital. And, tonight this is mostly Otterbein people. So it's just great to see Otterbein getting this kind of support.
Kevin Shea to Ross. Got it. 107-91. It's going to take an awful lot of determination for Bethany to weather the storm. An NBA 3. I don't think I've ever seen a 3 shot that far. Kind of mid-half court, mid-3 ball range.
Exactly, and he almost got it. That's the thing.
Walton, backdoor, and one. And that might be the final nail in the coffin. It's going to be a long trip back to Bethany, West Virginia.
That is Schubert's 5th, so the guy who had 4 3-pointers in a row, 5 for the night, takes a seat and leads to a nice ovation
and
from the Bethany players anyway.
Schubert ends his career on the Otterbein floor. 5 fouls. He stroked about 5 in a row from 3-point range to get Bethany back in it, but Otterbein just too much, as they have built now an 18-point lead.
Marks the 4th Bethany player to foul out as well.
109-91. And Otterbein has not fouled out a player yet.
In fact, the most anybody has is 3, and Scott Hadley and Phil Soucy each have 3 personal fouls apiece.
And Otterbein will take a full timeout. 19-point lead, 110-90.
And if you're Dick Reynolds, do you clear your bench right now?
I don't know. I would say probably. I get the guys in there that have had some time in and go from there. I think I don't know. I think if I was Dick Reynolds, I put some of the guys in that have not seen a lot of action yet in this ball game. Being up 110-91, like I said, I don't think Bethany can weather 2 storms that Otterbein has given them. 2 minutes, 47 seconds left to play.
This word just passed to us. Both Kevin Shea and Jeff Gibbs each have double-doubles. Shea with 15 points, 11 assists. And if I'm not mistaken, Gibbs has 33 points and a ton of rebounds. I'm running out of spaces to mark the rebounds. That's the
Gibbs
thing.
just so dangerous.
Definitely a double-double, though.
The shot, first shot, no good. And the final shot from Pat Kelly, no good. Stolen by Scott Johnson. He's still in the ball game. He was one of the starters. 3 ball up, no good. Rebound Ross. And trying to dribble away from Nevada Smith. And Nevada Smith will be called for the personal. And amazing enough, Nevada Smith, a starter, just his first personal foul.
Yes, it's not a mistake. That's 1 foul on Nevada Smith.
One of the sweetest strokes in the game has Mo Ross.
Oh, Scott. Oh, no, I thought that was going to bounce in. I thought you jinxed him there again.
111-91, a 20-point game. Gibbs has seen his last time. Last time on the Otterbein court. 33 points, 13 rebounds. Heck of a career for Jeff Gibbs, and it's going to roll on to wherever they play next.
And once again, we will know tomorrow night, so check d3hoops.com or the NCAA website, and they will have the updated brackets and information for you.
Graby, the 3 ball goes in, and 112-94.
I think it's just too little too late, though, Scott.
And a foul called away from the basketball. Now, I think you're right.
And that is McGinnis's 5th foul, so 5 Bethany Bisons out with fouls.
5 guys at the bench. And
in fact, the entire starting 5 has fouled out except for Nevada Smith and Scott Johnson.
And Smith only has 1. Student section right next to the Bethany section, and you've heard I've got a security guard down there, which is probably a pretty good idea.
Yeah, the earlier, I don't know if it was on camera or not, but the Bethany fans, the 3 rows of Bethany fans, I should say, were having some words with the crowded Otterbein student section.
And Borges knocks down the free throw, 113-94. And the game without Jeff Gibbs, they've seen highs and lows this season. Third worst loss ever under Dick Reynolds happened earlier this season. And I say they've rebounded from that in a very positive way.
Definitely.
The shot from Kenny Hankinson is good. And it's still 1:34 to play. Starling running. He's going to throw up the shot. It's good. It's 116-96. Spin move from Nevada Smith. No good. Hankinson fighting for the rebound, and a foul called on. Thought it might have been Nevada Smith, but we will see, and it will. That'll be a second. Here's that replay. And Susie's got the ball, and Smith just rips it out of his hands.
Susie will try to add to his total by going to the free throw stripe here. He has 4.
Phil Susie knocks it down.
And Dick Reynolds emptying the bench.
Home and in.
Yeah, I see Mishai down there, Mishai Robinson.
Robinson in. And incoming Neil Homan.
Michael Fry is also in.
And he's going to go in for Susie. 118-96. Bethany's season will end here in Westerville.
So a very high-scoring game here, Scott, as both teams. Well, Otterbein in the century mark, and Bethany approaching it for the second game in a row.
And this one tipped by Starling and out of bounds. Is going to stay with Otterbein. And Starling helping up number 14, Pat Kelly.
You like to see that. Good sportsmanship being expressed on both teams.
And if I'm Otterbein, do you stand and wait for 35 seconds and throw up one shot, or do you let the rookies kind of go and score? And
I haven't let him score. As you see, Mishai wanted to take the three there.
Robinson, the over-under, doesn't fall. And a foul on Nevada Smith.
These guys haven't seen it that much playing time this season, and you got to believe they want to score and get their chance of that. It's the final game Otterbein will play at home this year.
And Michael Fry will shoot two. 50 ticks remaining on this one.
Michael Fry gets on the board. That's his first point.
I'll tell you, after the box score is printed out tomorrow in the newspaper, they're going to think we had housed an NBA game. Holman knocks it in.
Off of the offensive rebound, off the free throw.
$121 points. This one is good for Bethany. It's number 14, Pat Kelly. And across court to Joey Starling. He will bring the ball down. Shot clock turned off. Three ball up, no good. Rebound, Starling. They'll run it out. 121 points, most an Otterbein College team has scored. Date this one back to 1972. 1973 versus Malone. Otterbein will move on. Bethany will go back to West Virginia. And this one is final. Your final score, 121-98. Otterbein wins. Final thoughts?
I did not expect this. Bethany, I thought, was a better team than this. Otterbein is in the Sweet 16.
And that's all we can say, really.
Yes. Otterbein has a ton of momentum going in. Once again, we will see who they play tomorrow night. Until then, wow.
An unbelievable game indeed for Otterbein College. Gibbs, another outstanding performance.
Gibbs 2 points away from his career high. He finished with 33. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I have him for. His career high is 35 points. He had that a couple of nights, I believe the second Capital game. But just everything went Otterbein's way tonight. Bethany made it close in the end, but Otterbein prevailed.
We want to thank everyone for flipping the switches, everyone who helped us out camera-wise. Otterbein moves on. 121-98 for Pat Fagan. I'm Scott Williard. This has been WOCC's Game of the Week. Bye,
Every day, fires occur in residence halls, fraternity houses, and in off-campus housing. Most of these fires are caused by carelessness. And too often students are killed because they aren't aware of the dangers of smoke inhalation or how rapidly fires can develop. Hey, sometimes students die because they ignore the danger. And sometimes they're killed because their thought processes are impaired.
It's the last thing in your mind. I mean, you don't even think about it happening.
Every time I see something on TV that has to do with a fire, I tremble.
Do you think about fire safety?
It's not the first thing I think about, but sure, it's a concern.
Not often, really. No, I guess not.
Last year when we had parties, I thought about it because we didn't have any fire extinguishers and we had a lot of people smoking.
Since I live in the dorms, it's not really a big concern.
No one thinks about dying usually, so, and I don't.
Brad Olson, a University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire student living off campus, was the innocent victim of a fire that started because someone was careless.
Brad lost his life in his off-campus home. Now, fire in any setting, whether it's a training burn like we have here, or in the tragedy that took Brad's life, is a killer. Now, Brad's bedroom was on the second story of this home he lived in. The fire started in the bedroom beneath his by careless use of smoking materials. Now, by the time Brad realized what was going on, he made an attempt to escape from the window. Now, already in this short of a time frame, he was met with flames lapping up the side of the window. He couldn't get out. So he turned, trying to go down the stairway as a secondary means of escape, and that was filled with thick, black, choking smoke. He had nowhere to go. Now, had the smoke alarms in this house had working batteries in it, Brad would have had early warning that there was a problem and may have been able to escape. But as it was, he was trapped with nowhere to go.
All of a sudden, they realized there was smoke coming down the stairway. So they went out basement exit, thinking that they'll get to Brad. And when they got out, they realized that the house was completely on fire.
Had there been batteries in those smoke alarms, it could have prevented Brad's death. I felt pretty secure about his personal safety, and I'll have to say I just became complacent.
I couldn't believe it. I was hoping when he first started talking that Brad had been in a car accident or something, that he just had a broken leg. I was just hoping he had been hurt and that he could recover. But he was dead.
What's the first thing you'd do if you were in a fire?
Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, roll.
Stop, drop, and roll. Is that it? I grab my guitar and run.
Grab my valuables and leave.
I look for a fire extinguisher.
Find a fire extinguisher? Man, if you're in a fire situation, don't waste your time trying to find a fire extinguisher. Survival is your first priority. Now that means get out as fast as you can. Don't worry about your stuff. It's replaceable. And don't waste time trying to make phone calls to warn people. Pull the fire alarm, but only if it's on your way out. Now, the most important thing you could do for your friends is to get out and get help. You can't do anything for your friends if you're trapped inside. That's why you gotta move. Get out when you first see smoke or flames, because a whole house or dorm can burn out of control in just 3 minutes. Fire has a big appetite. In fact, it can double every 30 seconds, which means you don't have time to grab your favorite CDs or a boombox.
It's an unrelenting, merciless monster, and anything in its path it's going to take with it, because it does happen so fast that if you don't take advantage of the few seconds that you do have, chances of making it out are very slim. It just doesn't offer a second chance.
There was an area there where during the party a number of people had been smoking cigarettes and cigars, and we determined that one of the cigars or cigarettes had been discarded into a pile of trash.
Fellow students in Tar Heel Country at the University of North Carolina know the horror of this kind of fire. 5 students lost their lives when the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity house burned down.
It's a shock, and it still seems like it's the strangest way to lose 5 people from our school, but it's real.
We'd heard it was just the kitchen that had caught on fire, and we were joking about the cook, what he was going to do, and we heard no one was hurt or anything, and then we pulled up and saw the house, and I never thought anything like that would happen. When I lived in the house, I mean, people coming and going as much as they are. I mean, I would have thought that was the last thing that, and from a cigarette butt in the basement.
But I don't know how it got so large before anyone realized it.
From this corner where the fire started, it began to spread up into the wall coverings of the basement, building its intensity as it went. This whole area became completely engulfed in fire. The fire began to go up this stairwell to where the students were asleep on the second floor. The smoke and heat came up this stairwell into this hallway where the bedrooms were. It became so intense it was impossible to breathe, impossible to see. So dense you wouldn't even see someone standing next to you. The smoke is deadly. The smoke is actually what killed the students, not the fire. Once it got to this point, then it began to spread up this stairwell to the third floor and actually burned out the roof. There were 2 students in this bedroom who were forced by the heat and smoke as it came up the stairwell, out this window, and jumped to the ground from the third floor.
He was 20 years old when he died, and end of his sophomore year. My first thought was, what? This is a joke. This is a bad joke. It was a nightmare, and it has been.
There were safety issues. They really were of no concern to us, just because it was what we were used to.
I miss the family we had. And it just changes your entire life. I miss my life.
But it's another thing of going to a funeral of someone who's 21 years old that have their whole life ahead of them. What's so ironic to me is that Joanna was like so full of life and so energetic all the time that, you know, you never think something like this could happen to someone.
Now, like I said, you have to get out as quickly as possible, but don't just go flying out the door. Feel the door handle first. If it's hot, don't open the door. If it's cool, brace yourself against the door and open it a crack. If there's heat or heavy smoke, close it. Now, if you're trapped inside, get somebody's attention or look around for another escape route, like a window. If you can safely open your door, leave, shutting the door behind you. Closing the door might protect your stuff from smoke and fire damage. If you pass a fire alarm, pull it and yell fire to warn people as you escape. But don't stray from your path. Get out of the building. Anytime you encounter smoke, get on the floor and crawl to safety. The air down low is cleaner and safer to breathe because the dangerous gases are closer to the ceiling.
The safest place is near the floor, where the majority of the good air and the lack of the heat is located.
Stay out of the elevators. They can fill up with smoke, stop working, and leave you in a death trap between floors.
Whenever a smoke alarm goes off, whether it's a blaring horn in your dorm or the smoke alarm in your home, it means get out.
Now, once you're out, call the emergency number and let them know if there's anyone still inside or someone who may need special help. The best thing you can do to prevent fires in the first place is to keep the what-ifs in the back of your mind. Like, what if I block this exit door and there's a fire? What if I leave candles or incense burning when I'm not in the room to keep an eye on it? What if I stick too many plugs into one place? What if I fall asleep with a lit cigarette in my hand?
The sad thing about this is none of this had to happen. Had someone been assigned to monitor the safety of the house following the party, check the trash cans, ensure that there was no threat here that would cause a problem for the students asleep upstairs, this destruction and this tragedy did not have to happen.
Just being more aware that it can happen and don't do stupid things.
Do you pay attention to fire alarms?
Not usually.
Depends on where I'm at. If I'm in like a crowded bar, a crowded nightclub or something, then I would pay quite a bit of attention to a fire alarm, but ordinarily not.
Sometimes. I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, so sometimes I sleep through them.
I think a lot of them are false alarms and people don't really pay much attention to them.
Yeah, I mean, our ones in our house go off all the time because whenever we cook a pizza,
We have like 5 alarms and they all start going off when our pizza's done. If I smelled smoke, I would take it more seriously.
I would first think that, oh, it's another drill.
It just seems such a hassle.
When I was in the dorms, they went off all the time, and I'm like, this isn't real. So I would just sit in my room or something.
What if the fire alarm is real?
If it was real and I didn't leave, then I'd be in trouble.
If I saw a fire, could smell smoke, I'd get out in time.
Students on campus, when they may have this false sense of security, I mean, they're surrounded by steel and brick. You know, how is their dorm ever going to burn down? What they don't realize is a building may not burn, but the contents in the room, the bedding, the chairs, the drapes, that's what burns. That's what gives off the toxic smoke that kills. It's not necessarily the fire itself.
Students living in a residence hall in Greenville College in southern Illinois know firsthand why it pays to take alarms seriously. The fire started about 5 a.m. and gutted out the west wing of the men's dormitory. One student was killed. He was about to be married in a few weeks. 7 others were injured. One of the injured students cut his hands and feet breaking a window to escape. What about students who tamper with smoke and fire alarms?
I wish they would grow up and get a little maturity because they are actually playing with people's lives.
It's really a hazard, it's really a waste of everyone's time, and it's really a very dangerous situation.
That's probably a felony, isn't it?
I don't find humor in it whatsoever. I mean, I think it is very, obviously it's very ignorant, yes.
That they should be punished because it's like crying wolf. You know, you cry so many times and then people will never listen to it again.
Tampering with fire protection equipment is a real bad idea. It could cost you your college career.
Individuals who make judgments, bad judgments, and interfere with firefighting equipment are subject to 2 kinds of penalties. They are criminal, which are enforced by the cities or the states, and they're institutional. Students who are found to have disabled firefighting equipment can be asked to leave the institution, can indeed be suspended. It's a very serious matter.
Living off campus puts even a greater responsibility on you to make sure you have working smoke alarms and that your house or apartment isn't a fire trap.
I don't know. I don't think he had any warning whatsoever. I mean, it wasn't a good situation. You got to have those batteries in there, and that could have probably gave him the chance to live.
It can move so quickly through the structure that it does not offer anybody a chance at being able to get out.
I mean, it was what it's like to lose. It's just a total empty feeling. Can't replace Brad.
It just seems so senseless.
Losing a child creates pain that just doesn't go away.
And it's still, there are certain things that'll happen. You'll hear a song that, or be somewhere and you'll see something that'll just set off a pocket of emotions or a burst that reminds you of Ben or one of the other guys and how much you miss them.
We are living, breathing people telling you that it can happen.
Sure, you make other friends, but it's not the same.
No one thinks about dying.
If your best friend died in a fire, how would you feel?
You can't assume this won't happen to you. The 5 young students that died in this house, I'm sure, didn't believe that their college years would end this way. And it's easy to assume that this won't happen to you, but it can. It happened here, it happens at other universities. The most important lesson that you can remember is whether you're in your apartment, your dormitory, your fraternity or your sorority house, if there is a fire, you have to get out.
Take responsibility for your safety, because this guy won't. Think about it. Your future depends on it.
When you lose your parents, you lose your past. But when you lose a son or a daughter, you never get to see him graduate or start a new job.
But it's hard not to see him, though, because I do miss him.
Calling parents and telling them that they have a deceased son or daughter as a result of the fire is one of the most unpleasant experiences that you can have in a lifetime.
I miss the family we had. You know, where we were 4, we're all of a sudden 3.
We've lost our future.
It's the last thing in your mind. I mean, you don't even think about it happening.
You know, you never think something like this could happen to someone.
It was amazing. It was just complete shock and disbelief. I mean, it took really took a while for it to set in.
And then we got there and learned that he had died. It was just shock.
Less crime is no accident. Programs like mentoring, job training, counseling, along with after-school activities are keeping kids away from crime and crime away from kids. Look around. You'll see that kids involved in these kinds of programs are kids who are staying out of trouble. It takes you and programs that work. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT and we'll send you a free booklet. Call now and help take a bite out of crime.
You're watching WOCC TV3, serving the Westerville community.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Student Showcase. I'm Dr. Jeff Demas, Director of Television for WOCC TV. Each fall and winter quarter at Otterbein, students enroll in a basic video production course called Fundamentals of Television Production. As a final assignment, I have the students divide into groups of about 5 or 6 to work on a video project. The only limitations are that each project must be self-contained, must be about 7 or 8 minutes long, and must be something we can air on Channel 3. Other than that, the creativity is up to them. There were 3 groups this time, each with vastly different ideas for their projects. In a moment, we'll see the first of those projects.
Hands need hands to help you see what lies ahead, what you want to be. Hands need hands, hands to reach.
Kids today need extra help to stay in school. Communities and Schools brings hands in need together with hands that can help.
Volunteers of America build strong communities by restoring confidence and self-reliance to those in